Well, you can still have the meeting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just not on that topic, right?
Yeah, you just
Pass over
skip
that
it, yeah,
topic.
pass it unless you want to present it.
Who are we missing? We know Scott's not going to be here.
Greg,
Greg?
I didn't hear if he was going to come or not.
Okay. Well, there's the doorbell.
Yeah, it's just a discussion item anyway, so it's not, yeah, you don't.
Everybody okay if I start?
Absolutely.
Okay. I call to order the Town of Trophy Club Economic Development Corporation meeting, April 22nd, 2026, at 6 p.m. Call to order, and we have a quorum. No public comments. Regular items. Number 1, consider approval of the February 25th, 2026 Economic Development Corporation meeting minutes.
Make a motion?
I have a
Pass
motion.
the-
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Motion passes. Number 2, discuss the Thrive Business Grant Program.
Awesome. Well, good evening, EDC Board. Exciting news. We opened up the Cycle 3 Thrive Business Grant on April 13th. We have had a couple of inquiries about that, so it has been getting some traction. We spoke with some prior Thrive applicants, and they are excited and willing to apply again. So we'll do some outreach on Cycle 3. I did want to bring up if you wanted to have an open house or like a town hall meeting for the Thrive Business Grant, if you wanted me to invite some of our businesses, maybe some of the businesses that haven't put in an application yet, and then we can walk through the Thrive Business Grant and answer any questions for them. If that's something that you want to do, we can do it in the next couple of weeks, and we'll have it here, and I'll try to get as many people as I can, and so it won't be more of the door-to-door like we did in the past. It'll be more of them coming to us. Is that something that you're wanting?
I like the door-to-door.
Okay.
How much of the door-to-door was done for the second round?
So for the second round, so for the first one, we did the Tom Thumb area. We did the Grace Development area, which is across from PD 30, which is Town Hall, our Town Center. We did Town Center. And
Right,
we
but
did
who
here.
did it? It was yourself and,
Our communications director, the town manager, and myself.
okay, and no board members?
No board members for the first one. The second one, we did talk about it, but it was more of outreach on the businesses that we did not reach in the first one. So that was over off of Bobcat, and then the medical office that's by the golf course.
Were there board members?
No board members were able to come. Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
So with that, if we want to do more of the door-to-door, we can have a couple board members and we can do each of the sections until the ending of the grant. If you, at that time, you want to extend it like we did with the first one, we can definitely extend the deadline. If we can't get to everybody that you want to, but yeah, if you want, I can kind of set up a timeline for everybody.
I know, I think both of us would like to go out,
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go out, for sure.
not place all the burden on yourself.
Okay.
Have some of us do it.
Yeah.
What's everybody else's thoughts?
I agree.
I agree, yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'll gather documents for you. I'll put it in a file folder, so when you do get out there, you can just give them our one-pager or our QR code. There are some businesses that like to do the handwritten application, so I'll put some of those in there. Yeah, and we can just go from there with that. If that's what you, is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I'll do some outreach to you in the next couple of days, and we'll set up a timeline. I'll get you those documents, and then we'll go from there.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Was that it?
Yes.
Okay. Item number 3, discussion and presentation by Catalyst Commercial on the Grove at Trophy Club Development Project.
Awesome. So we have Jason Clonch here. He is with Catalyst Commercial. He's going to do a high-level overview of an executive brief for you on the small area plan, and just go over, and if you have any questions, just let him know.
Cool. Welcome.
Way to get you a PowerPoint, or I can just walk you through it too.
Do you have it on the USB? Yeah, let me see if I can. Yeah. I gotta put it in the folder to get it up there. Is it just the only PowerPoint in here? Okay. This. Okay, perfect. Here you go. And,
No, that's not it.
that's not it?
No, there should be a PDF, sorry.
Okay. Let me see.
I need hold music or something.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Because that's never Wayne.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'd rather listen to people talk.
This one? Okay. All right.
Unless you want to take roads off system.
Oh, no.
Y'all don't have any text dot roads you want to give up. That's
We don't have any text dot rows, they're
That-
all.
Exactly. 114, you'd have to give away 114. So.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Want to do the free trial tonight?
Does it make you want to sign in?
All right. Can I say now? Just give me 15 minutes. Well, thank you for having me tonight. I just wanted to give you guys a high-level overview of what we've been doing. I would say kind of behind the scenes, but on your behalf. So I'm just going to go through a high-level overview of just some of the marketing information we've aggregated. Talk a little bit about some of the feedback that we've gotten so far. And obviously, this is a public presentation, so some of this will be a little bit encryptic, but we can read between the lines, and we've been updating staff and happy to provide additional reports. We do have some feedback that we'd like to share with you, and I'll talk to you a little bit about working steps and some of the prospects that we actually already have working. So this is an example, kind of the first page of what we call OM, or offering memorandum. So again, it has some salient points, and then behind this it has some of the site planning work and some of the graphics and imagery that we've done. We've created our own internal due diligence folder, again, as we have prospects that are interested in information. We can share more with the confidentiality agreement, just some of the base work. All of this would likely be public, but it's just a mechanism for us to control who gets what information. And we do have this on third-party platforms. We've got this on CoStar and Crexy, just to give it some more visibility. And then most of our efforts have been working on targeted outreach with specific end users. For the most part, our target audience have been additional destination restaurants and corporate office, but it is out there on the market. So as we do have interest in outreach, we are following up with those prospects as well. And then we've just integrated a new platform by Revere or Lightbox, but that will go out and has the ability to basically broadcast out to several thousand prospective investors and developers that might be interested in this type of project. So We've not launched that outreach. That'll be something we'll work with on staff, but we do have the capability for that. We've got over 30 interested prospects that we're working with. 17 of those are destination restaurants and 14 of those are developers. We've got actually 6 active working prospects that we're in the process of qualifying. Some of those are putting together site plans and proposals and concepts. Our thought would be is that we would introduce those to staff, kind of vet that process out, and then ultimately we would likely see that come back in front of an executive session with you guys and, in terms of specific deal points. We have had 5 groups that, we thought made sense. And we've gotten sort of objections. That's not necessarily a bad thing. For whatever reason, the project wasn't a fit. It was a targeted, area of interest. One destination restaurant we thought was a good fit. It just wasn't a trade area that they were interested in. So nothing we can do to overcome that. We had a mixed-use developer, and they would be a great candidate. They just need a grocer, and I don't know that there's enough grocer capacity to make sense. And so that was just an internal criteria. If there is a grocer that would make sense, then obviously they would come back. There was one developer who didn't give any response. He just said, that's not a fit for us. We did contact a destination restaurant that had not announced yet in South Lake, but they had already made a commitment in South Lake and didn't want to double up. And so I felt like we're on the right track, and they were intrigued about the location. They just didn't feel like the duplication made sense. So one group that we're talking to is a vertically integrated mixed-use developer, huge balance sheet. They do both for sale. They have some for rent product, but they also have the ability to deliver some really interesting, corporate office integration. So I think this will be a group that could perhaps make some sort of a proposal. There's another developer that's done a substantial amount of mixed use across Texas and all over the United States, $19.4 billion of projects that they deployed, and they certainly like the position of this. And so I think we'll also see something come back from them in the next few weeks. We've got a destination operator, a little bit smaller scale, but more boutique. They have a couple of concepts. They have 3 that all 3 might actually be a fit for this. That would co-locate kind of in some sort of a clustered development with some additional green space for activation. They're looking at the various parcels and trying to figure out how that might fit in. And they did ask about incentives, and we said we're really not there yet. Let's continue the underwriting. We'd like to see what y'all can deliver. We do have another destination sort of restaurant and bar with a lot of music and kind of rotating themes that express some interest. They've asked for additional sales information from some of the peer operators already to give them a little bit more confidence in the market, but the spacing could make sense. We do have one signature restaurant that would be standalone, that would be more Brazilian based, that has expressed some interest that we're working through some of the due diligence on. And then I do have a corporate office developer that's branded. Essentially, they need 25,000 square feet. This group would likely build another 15 or 20,000 square feet spec. So we would envision maybe a 40 or 50,000 square foot 2-story office building that could work well on one of those parcels. And so that's kind of where we've been the last, I guess, few weeks or a month or so, but staff's been super helpful in providing the information. We have had one call that we looped in McAdams on just to help kind of share some of their, engineering background and some of the planning work and framework that they did. So that was very helpful and informative, and I think helped advance the conversation. And then again, I think our next steps may be exploring, getting this out on the Lightbox framework to give it more visibility. And we're going to keep doing what we call guerrilla marketing, is actually pushing individually and stimulating, I think, prospects that we know that I think y'all would be comfortable with, and that we think that would be thematically compatible with I think the vision that y'all hopefully have expressed in the master plan that we and McAdams did. So. Happy to answer any questions. I know a little bit of this is a little bit obscure intentionally, but I think we want to continue qualifying these operators and hopefully get them to prepare some sort of a proposal or ask or a letter of interest, and then bring that back into executive session with more constructive, detailed conversation. So Hopefully, this is a momentum that you'd hoped to receive, and we're going to keep pushing, and hopefully we'll get our ideas, hopefully we can get kind of a variety of interest and some things that y'all can respond to, and I think that's exactly the exercise and the inertia, and I think the downside is we're pushing Trophy Club and selling the value proposition and giving exposure to the market, and so we don't know where those intangibles will lie, but it's obviously good exposure for you guys from our front, at least through our branding and marketing efforts, so.
Is the level of feedback what y'all anticipated, or more or less in line, or?
I mean, it's such a strong location and the visibility and with the new infrastructure work, we feel confident that, the site does present very well and is very attractive, and there's not a lot of greenfield spaces that are available that aren't 100% controlled, and that may not be at a higher basis, and I think, this corridor's, really ripe for, these types of conversations, so I think the timing is good. I think the vision is clear. A lot of times we run into this issue is it would be very hard to start from scratch without having the work that y'all have already, the groundwork that you've already laid, and that makes it a lot easier. And I think, this creates some adjacency predictability, so somebody doesn't have to eat the elephant. Somebody could take, one piece or parcel of this and still have an idea of how the rest of this can play out. So no, we've been very pleased. And we're going to get rejection. I mean, that's part of the process. And so we're trying to receive that and figure out how can we reposition the marketing and use the objections to our advantage or manage around those objections as we get them. So, I mean, a quick no is better than a slow no, and, that eats up a lot of resources.
So you're pitching Trophy Club. The response that you've gotten from some of these interested parties, was there anything that they brought to the table with regard to Trophy Club that was not on your original list? In other words, have they seen something that we may have overlooked?
I don't think so, not at this point. I think they're just synthesizing the information. I think, the plan was so thorough, and there's obviously several sort of iterative offerings in that. One ultimately sort of refined plan, but I think it laid out quite a few options that make sense for a lot of these operators. The office was a little bit of a wild card, that wasn't necessarily our strongest lead in terms of what we saw, market conditions, but 50,000 square feet feels right, for us, and we like that momentum. So we're trying to get the owner-operator, the development group is local, but the owner-operator is not here, and so we're working on getting a tour set up in the next few weeks to actually get them to windshield it, but the metrics make a lot of sense for them.
Great.
Tell you, that steakhouse sounds good.
Especially now, it's 6:30, so. Yeah, I can't say in terms of our efforts that we would do anything different. We're just going to keep pushing. There is a ICSE conference coming up in May. I don't know what the registration is, but usually it's somewhere around 25,000 to 50,000 attendees. It's probably somewhere in between 35 or 40,000, and so we'll be there middle of May, and so that'll be a great opportunity to get in front of some folks in terms of this project.
What is ICS?
International Council of Shopping Centers, but it's a international retail conference that's held in Las Vegas every year, so timing is good.
Does the board need to be there?
I absolutely think so, yeah, red or black, right? So, red for us, but it's a good conference, so.
I've been, it's a fun event.
Yeah, it's a quick day and a half, but there's a lot of folks there for sure.
Any other questions?
All right, we'll
Thank
keep
you for the
going then.
presentation.
Yeah, thank you.
That's pretty good.
Anything else from the board? Tamara?
No, I think we're good to go.
Okay. It is 6:19 PM, and this meeting is adjourned.
Beautiful.
Hey, it was one of my long.